The next part is a software package. In a software package, there are many software is provided. By giving the proper data and proper photos of that area, we can estimate the amount of shadow falling on the roof on the roof on the area, and efficiency of energy also can be calculated. A 3D computer model of that site can be obtained by using this all type of for software. This is the screenshot from the architectural software showing 3D models of a particular house with a PV arrays they are showing. Now available area, it is very important to find the availability of the area. How we are going to find the areas, and how many PV modules or arrays required, that also plays very important role in this one. So the area of the roof differs from houses to houses, and calculation of the area is important, and number of modules to be connected or installed should be calculated. Finding area is very important. So how we are going to find? Measuring the available roof. When we have a roof, when the roof is there, that time you have to measure what is the dimension of the roof. If it is available, then it is a good. Otherwise, by using a tape, you have to measure what is the length, what is the length, what is the breadth. You have to find in this one, leaving the edges of this one, and determining what what is the length, and based on that length, what we are going to, they are going to find the maximum number of PV models that is required for the roof. And if some areas are there where you can find some areas where you cannot be install the PUC models. For that one, you can make a small rectangular type of a PUC model, and you can adjust there. So there are two types which which can be models can be installed. One is landscape, and another one is a portrait form. So this is the form which it can be. You can see this one. One is landscape orientation, another one is a portrait orientation. In this one, this can panels can be fixed. There are two methods of installation. One is portrait method, and another one is landscape installation method. Here, what happen here? If you see this one, they calculate the length and the width. The length and the width. These are both are, one is of a portrait, another one portrait method. In this portrait method, what happen? They calculate the width of a roof minus edge zone or small zone. They will check. They will minus one edge zone, and you can install the piece of pen. Here also, if you see in the second diagram, here they will calculate by minusing the edge zones. And this is also a the minus in this one. They will install the number of a PVC pan. Environment plays very important role in installation of a PV model. You have to check which type of environment is there. That is very important. For example, temperature, you have to check the temperature of the PV model or inverter, whichever the equipment you are using for the installation, and it is provided in the equipment data sheet, which gives the full information regarding the P model and inverter. So the and other things are corrosion condition. Corrosion condition means in coastal area there are this all are affected with the salt, because salt content in the atmosphere will be more. So there the panel or inverter or other equipment has a different designing, and it is having some certified EC, is it is quite different. It is such material they will use with the salt cannot affect that module or the system. In snow also it has to be taken care, and IEC 61215 has to be used for this one. And you can see this photo. This is inverter. It is located in such area where access cannot be done. So it should be installed in such a way that access can is possible. Locating balance of a system equipment. When you are installing PV arrays, you have to locate locate and see that it has to be installed properly, and other equipments has to be installed properly and in proper areas, like PV combiner box, inverters. The inverter should be very accessible and it should be protected from the direct sunlight. So location plays very important. Architecture building drawings can be considered for this one, or a person can have a manual site survey and can check where the equipment can be designed. Photo can be taken, digital photo for this one. So this is, for example, if you see this photo, if you see this well, this all equipments are installed properly, and it is protected from sunlight as well. It is a protected from sunlight. It is a protected from sunlight and sunlight, and when it ventilate, it is well ventilated. And this is a site. This is a site. This is a site where you can see, where you can see particular. You can see the particular. This is a site which is installed. Photo array is installed here, and a cable of a 4 square cable, 10 meter in length. It is a calculated is installed, and switchboards are also installed. Inverters are installed in this area. It is properly calculated and placed. And next in this one, this is another one area. This is for example property. This is a property. Okay, property boundaries, and here you can see the main PVC location, then board is there, switches are there. So all it is properly designed, checked and designed properly, and it is seen that no shadow falls on that one. Designing grid connected PV system. See what happen, a site has to be accessed properly, and proper information data should be given for the designing of all the things. When you are installing PV arrays, inverters, other component, designing has to be done. Designing differ from site to site and depend upon the conditions also. So then the codes and standards has to be used for this one. Brief in this one, brief designing. The designing we have to, it depends upon the client or what type of a designing it requires. So it depend, different metering systems are there which we are going to install, like gross metering it is there, net metering is there. Based on that one, designing can be done. Now existing system evaluation has to be done. The owner, the PUC the areas has to be checked, and there are many conditions server, like weather conditions are there, many problem occurs. So evaluation has to be done properly in this one. And and while designing, a local technician has to be local technicians who is having some experience. Words has to be taken from him also before designing the things. Choosing system component. Now the component, when it is a choosing, it is very important. It is a very important, and selection should be proper. So models, for example, what happens, the models plays very important role. And if a correct model PV array model should be given, and correct ratings has to be spread, because things changes from area to area, condition to condition. So if you go in a particular local temperature, the temperature affects a lot. So for that one, installation differs, material differs. PV arrays or other equipments are of different material, and they have some data sheets. So it has to be used that one. But for particularly if you see in the coastal area, where salty air will be, the salty mist will be, then there causes a corrosion photovoltaic model. So some IEC E6170 has to be used there. Heavy snowfall, we have to use different type of model in this one. In this one, and in the area, depend upon the area to area. For example, and some in other one area there may be some standard, there may be other standard in some areas. For example, European countries, this standard is quite different. So the manufacturer provides specification and data sheet regarding this one is based on proper selection, proper area. You have to consider that area, and proper selection has to be done. Mounting structure, the system has to be mounted properly, designed properly, so the installation has to be done properly at the local environment, particularly in heavy rainfall or the wind areas. It has to be proper care has to be taken, and depend upon the customer how the designing is required, so inverters also has to be designed properly. There are many type of central, multi-string, string and modular are there, depend. And the peak is very important. Peak rating of the PV array in the data sheet, all the maximum PV array power rating is a given, which we has to be considered and has to be calculated. And the whether if we are using the PV model, correct model, the direction and tiltation of the model is very important. It has to face the sun. It has to face the sun, or it should get the maximum radiation. It has to get the maximum radiation. And in this one, what happened? Inverters small, instead of using small inverters, small many inverters, one large inverter also can be used. Then now in this one, the efficiency of inverter also is very important. It has to be designed properly. Transformerless inverters are being used in Europe, but in USA it is not permitted. So there are many things, and inverter location that also plays very important role. That inverter data sheet provide all the specification regarding the protection also. It has to be protected. If you are installing outside, special protection like IP65 has to be used, and various type of protection are there which helps in protecting the inverter. The cap There are many advantages and disadvantages of this one. So to this, what happened, the client depend upon the requirement of the client, the PV arrays or complete PV model or solar system has to be designed. And in nowadays there are many software available for designing of the PV system, for designing of the PV arrays, for the modules or inverters. And there are different hundred type of options has been given by the manufacturer and the model, and it is given through the software. That software, what happens, stimulates and check the result. They, depending upon the result obtained from the software or the stimulation, they the the PV system, it is a designed properly. And the software they are using as PV SOL and PV system, yes, SMA, Sunny Design and Homer. This all are the available softwares. Cabling, cabling is very important in this one. So different type of cables has been used, and the size of the cable is very important depending upon the current required for the system, PV system. The size of the cable is considered. So so it is used with the local codes and the national standards also. Different countries having different variation in this one. You can see this is a software which shows the number of models, size of the cable and type, all the things you'll get selected. If you in this software, ready-made cabling and voltage, everything, it is a planned in this software. This is a screenshot from the PV system, that is a software. This is a software which is used. And we have to check that there should not be a voltage drops if you consider a long cable, and current carrying also. And if the current of the cable is more than the cable get overheated, this all things has to be considered. Voltage size also is very important. We have to check what is the maximum voltage size for the manufacturers list. And here it is in DC cable should be rated for at least 1.2 into VOC. Now current size also is very important. Maximum current, If you consider the maximum current, we are using 1.25 into is. Is is short circuit current. So if a short circuit current occurs, 1.25 more than that, it should be able to carry. That is important. System protection is important. System has to be protected from many things like over voltage, short circuit current, any lightning flood, strong wind can destroy the system. So protection plays very important in this one. The first protection in this system is overcurrent protection. The AC or DC, both the current, what the AC current or DC, it has to be protected properly. The component cable which are being installed, it has to be seen that the overload current or short circuit current should not destroy any of the component. Maximum current has to be checked. The size of the cable has to be determined. The maximum current or short circuit current has to be calculated. Based on that calculation, the cable has to be taken. So some national codes and standards also specified has been specified. The main thing in this one is a PVA model is a current limiting devices. So the highest current has to be considered. The short circuit current has to be calculated for this, and then the short circuit has to be calculated and it has to be used for the protection device. Fault current protection. When any fault occurs, that time the current increases and it easily damages the PV cell or other equipment. So when a PV model it is generating electricity, it has to be seen that the fuse should be a miniature fuse or MCB has to be installed. It has to be installed. When any maximum current or short circuit occurs, a large current occurs in any of the string, particularly in any of the string, that time what happens, the MCB or MCB will trip, or if any fuse is installed, the fuse will burn off. So the most thing they are in most of the equipments, they are using MCB, miniature circuit breaker they are using. And when at that time when any fault occurs, that time the current increases and the MCB trips. And this is the way how they protected. So the fuse must be fitted to both the positive and negative string cable. Fuse must be rated for DC. Fuse must be rated, that is using some formula they have to be rated, that is VOC into number of modules in the string into 1.15. Fuses must have a tripping current. If the system does not have a string fuses, then string cable should have a minimum current rating. So this all things are there which can protect the system. The next is lighting and surge protection. Lighting, it has the PV system has to be protected from the lightning. So there are different type of standards for that one, and it is used. Mostly they are using the metal oxide varistor. Lightning surge arrestor, it is called as a surge arrestor. It is installed above that, about the PVRs which protect from the lightning, and the ground earthing is also is important in this one. Grounding has to be done properly, so that any fault occurs or any lightning and fault occurs, that time the current has to pass to the ground, or any lightning occurs, the current should properly pass to the grounding. See here the faulty condition, here it is to there, and this, if any if any of the model it is a faulty, the red indicates the faulty model. So what happen here, 5.5 amperes current will be given to that one. So in the second one, what if you see, one is faulty and two are there, so what happened, 11 5.5 plus 5.5, 11 amperes it is a given. So if it is a faulty, it doesn't allow the current to pass, it creates lot of problem. So in this third also it is the same condition. So when we add this one, we get 16.5 amperes is given to the faulty model. Then so that time the current increases and causes lot of damage to the models. So proper protection has to be given.